What's going on, Blunteers? Welcome to the Blunt of Reality.
Yes, sir.
I am Dessalines, and this is.
It's your boy Pharoah. What's going on, people? What's going on, my blunteers?
How you feeling today?
Feeling pretty good, man. How you feeling?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm feeling good. I can't complain. There's a lot going on right now, man, in the world right now. So today I wanted to touch on the topic of war. I found something real quick off of CNN, so I want to just tell you about it. Israel's military has warned 1.1 million people living in northern Gaza to evacuate their homes amid signs Israel is set to ramp up its retaliatory offense against Hamas following the group's October 7th terror attacks that killed 1,300 people. So, for people that don't know, or rightfully so, if you don't want to be sad, Gaza attacked Israel. People died. If you want to read more on that, go on the news or whatever it may be. What I want to ask you real quick is, what are your thoughts on specifically war, past, present? There's stuff going on in Ukraine. That's a huge thing right now.
Yeah.
This with Israel. America had this thing with Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your opinions on that specifically?
My opinions as far as war is, there's always casualties. And men, women, mainly children and women are the ones who suffer the most. Men can go do what they want because, men are always going to go to war. But mainly women and children always suffer. And it's unfortunate, man, because, you got a lot of casualties in war. And, that's just the reality,
Right. My thing is this. You're right. Women, I think all people really affected by war specifically. I'm going to speak from a personal point of view.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
So with me, we in North Jersey and all of that, but we're right next to New York. One of the biggest, terrorist act that because there was multiple terrorist attacks around this area. But the biggest one to me that happened, of course, that I witnessed, I don't know if you was around, but a lot of us witnessed from across the water, was 9/11.
Yeah.
I mean, you could step outside and smell the smoke from the buildings. Then when you got home, I'm a kid, by the way.
I was in 5th grade when it happened.
Okay, so
I could literally see it.
Yeah. So you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
You remember how they put us all on red alert?
Yep.
They had the TVs in the corner, and I could see the fear in the teacher's eyes. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you could smell the smoke from the burning building. I get home. They put it on the news. The whole family watching. Everybody was just quiet. News had captured literally people jumping out of the buildings to run away from the fires that were going on.
And you can literally hear like the impact from the people hitting the floors, bro. That was one of the most shocking things that I remember.
And I remember as a kid, I couldn't quite fathom it. I couldn't quite understand what was going on. Even to this day, I don't remember how I reacted, but I do remember it vividly. I knew people was dying. I knew people were afraid. And fast forward to now, I understand how serious, war is. I understand that these are real people at the end of the day. And it's not something I know like I don't know about people out there, but people may play video games or see war movies and think that okay, that's not. But when it's actually happening in real time, especially in today's society, that shit breaks my heart. I don't like seeing that, bro.
You know what's so crazy though? Americans are not witnessing this shit firsthand. We've actually been sheltered from war. We mostly go to other countries and fight wars, fight for freedom and shit in other countries. So
some would say we destabilize.
Yeah, we do that too.
Topple off governments for our own interests.
Just to talk about the 9/11 thing. So when it came and it happened to us, it was shocking. A lot of Americans, we didn't realize this shit could actually happen. So I think it was the shock of it just hitting home base You know what I'm saying? Like, it was very shocking. A lot of people couldn't really fathom what was going on because, like I said, we've been sheltered for so long. So we just got a little taste of our own medicine, unfortunately.
Right. Specifically, if we talking about 9/11, right? As far as right now, to this day, what bothers me the most,
Mm-hmm.
You do your own research, and
Yeah.
there's things that's constantly coming out. To this day, there are people who speculate and understand that there was something deeper that went on.
Yeah.
Even to this day, they admitted, like, yeah, we lied about the weapons of mass destruction
Mm-hmm.
that was in Iraq and all of that. And
Propaganda.
it was a whole lot of propaganda.
Yeah.
And you're talking about people who lost their lives. Not only that, you're talking about the conspiracy behind the fall of these buildings, on how they fell. How some people, they had live videos of people saying, like, nah, there was bombs in the building. Bombs were going off inside the building.
Just by the way it collapsed too.
Yeah, by the way it collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
There is this guy, I'm not going to mention his name right now, but he himself has done research and explains the research and how deep it actually goes behind everything that happened. I'm not going to get too deep into that. But as far as that, when you point to facts that are so petty, and it is centered around actual war and the loss of people's lives, I don't know. I feel like that's what hurts me the most, because at the end of the day, so you're saying it was all petty. It could have been avoided. You chose to create this environment of chaos and potential hell for what? Oil? For what? Money?
Yeah, profit.
I don't know. That really bothers me, man. And if we want to go further back to what I really wanted to bring up, as far as we talking about war, was what happened in Haiti. I don't know if you want to give a quick summary of how that first war in Haiti, how black people got their first independence.
Yeah, from the French. Well, we were the first black republic to gain independence from a superpower. This was actually 1803, and we made it official. Like, we made it official on document 1804. You see, I got the tattoo here. You feel me? I'm very proud to even talk about this.
Right.
And Haiti has, like, very luscious history, man. Like, if it wasn't for Haiti's involvement in other people's independence, like, we've got multiple countries that we actually helped. We've got Venezuela, we've got Panama, we've got
certain states in the U.S. too.
Yeah, even the result of the Louisiana Purchase was because of Haiti. You feel me?
Right.
So we've got, like, you can look it up yourselves. Like, our involvement in freeing countries from slavery is very unique, man.
Yeah. I brought that up is because of one thing, right?
Yeah.
As far as when it comes to war and politics, it gets real complicated, and I'm not trying to get into, like, I'm trying to make this as simple as possible, because sometimes I could go crazy and go off. So specifically with war and politics, when Haiti first got their independence, right? You fact check me on this. This is something that people can look online themselves.
Yeah.
When they got their freedom through force, by the way, through war, through physically fighting, defeating their masters, French had to say, okay, fine, we recognize you as an independent country now, right? Then it was recognized by the whole world. But then politically they took advantage of them by what? Sanctioning them and putting them into an impossible debt to pay back.
Yeah, the
during
French.
that time. They continued to pay it to the late 1900s and just finished paying it in what year?
2008, if I'm not mistaken. You can fact check me on that. I believe it was 2008.
Early 2000s, probably late 90s, early 2000s. Then when Haiti requested the money back from a modern day country that made another country pay for their freedom, they said no. France was like, no. Not only that, there's other countries in Africa that France takes advantage of. That even there's places in Africa that are saying, hey, we're done with you, France.
Niger,
get out of here.
for one.
Exactly. So for a country like that to have to fight to get their freedom and then still be taken advantage of, by the way, people are still taking advantage of Haiti, taking minerals from that place And of course, the news doesn't like to report it. Why would they report something as real as that? Because
You know what's interesting enough? Haiti has one of the largest deposits of it's a rock called iridium, and if I'm not mistaken, you can find it mostly in Haiti and also in South America, and this rock has many different properties. Feel me? So they use this mineral. I think they coat this mineral on like the ships, so when they come into atmosphere of the Earth, it basically acts as a protection. So and it also fights cancer. So there's a lot of properties. I think if I'm not mistaken, Haiti would probably be the top 3 richest countries in the world if you base it off of that.
the minerals on the land.
That mineral alone, that rock alone. You feel me? Our mountains are our mountains are made of these things.
Asteroids that crash too. Yeah.
From space. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you finished.
No, I was just stating some facts.
Yeah. So, you know what's crazy about that?
Yeah.
It's a perfect example, right, of how you can extract resources from a land, right? And then how do we even let them get away with that? Because it happens in Haiti, it happens in other parts of the world also, where you have this super country, this super influence, aka CIA or whoever it may be, swooping in, saying, "All right, what y'all got over here? Oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna finesse this out of you some way, somehow."
Yeah.
Oh, and your people, fuck them. But what you mean? They should be living like kings and fuck them. But I feel like we could pay. No. Fuck them. You know how like arrogant that is. You know how crazy it is to be that evil. To go to a country, you know that some of them are struggling. Some of them are living okay. They're like, you know what, we're happy with the way of life that we have right now. They had a certain system or whatever. But now with electricity in some places, even they have no access to good water sometimes, and there's multiple problems that they could help with. But still, I'm going to extract
your resources,
and I'm going to be out. This is what I came for.
And this is not even be out. We're just gonna keep this as a main headquarters, and we're gonna continue to destabilize your country. We're gonna put our foots on your neck to the point. It's like Haiti was like an example for any black republic to stand up to superpowers. And you know what it is too? I pride myself to be Haitian because just the influence that we had, bro.
Right. Yeah.
And we go unnoticed still to this day, bro.
Right.
And it's like, man, only if people knew, and only if they would give us our recognition that we deserve, bro. Like,
it's messed up, man. And there's so much research that could go into it, as far as how outside influences take advantage of countries like Haiti and other places around the world. Another war that's going on too is the Ukraine-Russia war, and it's controversial as far as when it comes to American citizens and what they're talking about. But most people, it sounds like, are not okay with, we still have problems in the USA.
Yep.
Why are y'all still sending money to these people? They have nothing to do with it.
Because of special interests, man. Like even the shit that's going on in Israel and Hamas, right? A lot of the war, what they're showing us is propaganda, in my opinion, because they'll never tell you exactly what's going on. They're just gonna put this narrative out on what they want the American people to believe. You feel me?
I saw a news clip. There was a newswoman interviewing another person who was, I believe they were Palestinian, and they actually followed the years of the Palestine-Israel
conflict.
So what this woman said specifically in art and with great articulation, she explained, like, listen, there has been peaceful protest.
Yeah.
She said that, like, in this year, there was 2014, there was peaceful protest. This other year, there was peaceful protest. You know what happened?
So Hamas was peacefully protesting Israel, correct? For the people who...
Yeah. So what was going on was they were getting sniped.
Mm.
Innocent people who was protesting were getting sniped. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Killed. But it wasn't like on the forefront of news, of the popular news media that we have today.
Yeah.
You know, it's never a story that's screamed as loud, and usually that's for a reason, right? Because if we pay attention, the puppeteers of war, they also control media and what we see on a daily basis.
Exactly.
Not saying you can't do your own research, right? But speculation it halts at speculation, right? Because they create a narrative that we're just to believe as American citizens or as regular people around the world, whatever they get fed as far as news is concerned. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like when it comes to it's for a reason, this war that goes on. I feel like there's money that's behind it.
Yeah.
It's hard to point fingers at the right person, but as a person, let's say we had a person who had nothing, they didn't know nothing about war. You're talking to a person that has, like, what are you talking about? Why is war happening? Why? Because that's what they're gonna ask. What? Who's dying? Kids for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is this happening? The main answer you would have to tell them is like, to be honest, there's what people believe. There's religion. You could point out all these places, but at the end of the day, the real reason is because of money. It's because of power. It's because there are people who actually benefit from these conflicts. They can't say that out loud.
No, they can't. Of course not.
I mean, they can't say that out loud. It can't happen. But people who are losing their lives, and even what happened with America when what we did with in Iraq and all of that, war stories. I've heard some war stories that are crazy. And then to be told, oh yeah, those weapons, it was all a lie.
Even with what I found interesting, that they were talking about how Israel has some of the most advanced secret agencies, right?
Right.
And how Hamas was able to infiltrate. First off, they set up shop. They said they set up shop, and it was like a year that they set up shop, and they were able to infiltrate Israel. And it's like, okay, these are some of the most highly advanced people, right?
Right.
How are they able to go into your country, set up shop, not even set up shop, but able to infiltrate and simply just attack a country like that? Right.
Yeah. They have some of the strongest because they were even trained by American CIA.
Exactly.
And they are one of the most highly intelligent
agencies.
Mm-hmm. It could be speculated, it could be speculated that whoever is a part of that intelligence, and they did know, and they already had problems with them. It's like, you know what? It's crazy to assume. This is
we're a fucking conspiracy podcast. Yeah, so we're gonna assume.
These are conspiracy. This is where you come into the conspiracy theory part, because now you're gonna say something like this. Okay, it could be speculated that they knew it was gonna happen. They were told that this is gonna go down. This attack is going to happen, but they didn't do anything. Why? Because they wanted that excuse. They wanted to fire their own people up, fire the world up, to have that narrative to be like, hey, they did this, so whatever comes after, it's on them.
It sounds like weapons of mass destruction to me.
I just read that article in the beginning. They're talking about, they warned 1.1 million people to evacuate. 1.1 million. You know how many?
That's
what they going to drop?
Where are they going? Because you got to think, where are they going to go? And on top of that, Israel bombed like 4 countries. I think it was like Syria, Lebanon, Egypt, and Palestine. And I read this one tweet, right? Just give me a second. The tweet said,
right.
Where the fuck is this shit?
Israel just be bombing.
There was like, this was crazy to me, because I was like, yo, this shit is just straight spot on. They said, only Israel can bomb 4 different countries in the course of 48 hours, right? Namely Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, and Egypt, and still be portrayed as the victim in Western media. That shit was profound. That was profound. It's like, yo.
You seeing Charleston White talk about he's with Palestine?
Nah, I didn't even see.
Like, this is how he explained it. Like, Israel is like a distant cousin. Palestine let them into the country. Israel is trying to take over Palestine, trying to take over all this stuff that they work for.
Yeah.
Like, yo, we just let y'all in here, so y'all trying to take over everything. Israel's not with it, so they fighting back and forth. Israel's trying to take over Palestine. It's like, I put in all the work, I let you on, and you try to take over everything. And then you try to like flip the script like a girl, like trying to gaslight
using the media and shit like that, like you were saying before. You feel me? And even in the media, they were creating this narrative, like you said earlier. People were getting sniped. They were protesting peacefully, getting sniped, and it wasn't being put on the media. You feel me? So exactly, basically what he's saying too. So it kind of makes a lot of sense, man.
They elite with that, bro. You see on the side of the road, pray with Israel, whatever.
Yeah.
Over here, I seen it driving at work today. I was like, what?
You know what it is? People don't even realize it too. That's the thing.
It's the same story.
Yeah,
it's the same story.
They don't even realize,
research, bro. They just go.
It's the media. They just listen to whatever the media.
I seen on TikTok. I hate people. As soon as I seen on TikTok conversation on it, bro. I don't mind what you gotta say, bro. You ain't doing no research. You just seen on TikTok, right?
Yeah, that's how it is. The thing is, you can't blame people who are NPCs, right?
That's a fact.
Because you have
That's
to
a fact.
understand. Nah, real talk. This is what it is, right? By the way, whoever that was, if they say that, maybe they have family out there, because there was 14 Americans that died or whatever, which is cool.
And mind you, we're not disregarding the deaths that happen.
We're not disregarding no deaths or nothing like that.
That happen on both sides.
This is why I call it an NPC. It's because there is a certain amount of research that goes into the background of multiple wars. Even the Ukrainian-Russian war. I got into it with a couple people about it because I'm like, yo, did you understand?
It's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah, this is what it is. So Russia, the media is saying, we got to watch out for the Russians, watch out for the Russians. But you have to understand, Ukraine has been doing stuff that's bad. They've been breaking contracts years before Russia decided to attack. So when you learn that Russia came to a certain point where they were like, yo, what are you guys doing? We're not taking this. And then they just went full on like, yo, this is what we're going to have to do. Now, I'm not justifying any time that people go to war is wrong. I don't like war, but sometimes you can't control what countries do. This is where we stayed this is what reality is right now.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Yes, I wish we all, I'm a hippie. I wish we all had peace, man.
Smoke weed,
peace,
hang
love,
out and
man.
chill.
We don't
but that's not the reality.
Nah, that's not the reality. The reality is this. There are separations, there are borders that have been created by certain people in power, and people are going to be fighting and all of that. But there's certain people who take in the media, news, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, Facebook even, whatever those ads that pop up, that shit does to them. It does things to them where they start to believe it. It is, even I don't care. Even with the vaccines, people believed it. They started hating people who didn't take it.
Facts.
Like, you didn't take the vaccine? You disgust me, man.
Word, that was crazy. That was a scary time.
What's wrong with you, man?
That was a scary ass time, bro. That was a scary time.
I think one of my peoples was talking to my other peoples. They was like, "What? You ain't take it, man." Yo, anybody who didn't take that, bro, they ain't nothing. They ain't shit, yo.
There was a lot of pressure around that time, bro. It was, what? You know what it was?
But you have to understand how they were showing us how easy it is to manipulate.
Yeah, the media has a lot of influence on the thought process of Americans, man. Especially like if you drink a lot of fluoridated water. I'm not gonna just keep mentioning this shit, but if you drink a lot of water that has fluoride in it, bro, you might be under mind control. You know that? You might.
I hope there's no fluoride in this.
You might, cause like, bro, it's just too easy. And mind you, you can't. I'm not even gonna blame anybody because it's like this, yo. These people are expert at mind control. This is what they've studied: mind control and the effect of what media can do.
MK Ultra.
MK Ultra. So it's like, yeah, MK Ultra. So it's like you playing with the big boys. You feel me? This shit is happening in real time, man. Right. So it's just like, it's scary, bro. It's scary because it's like how if you're on this side, and I'm not even gonna make it seem like we're the smartest people in the world, but we pay attention to detail, right? So it's like, how can you fight the people at the same time? It's like, yo, we know what's going on, right? And on top of that, the people that don't know what's going on, they put us as the enemy. I've had, even during the vaccine shit, not to get too off topic, like even during like the COVID vaccine shit, there was a lot of people who were coming crazy at me. It's like, yo, how can you not get the vaccine? How can you They called me saying that I was experimenting on my children because I wouldn't get the vaccine on my children. And like, I'm not even gonna lie, there was a lot of pressure on me as a parent, and it was scary because it's like, yo, am I making the right choice? Like, it was stressful around that time. Right. And I thank God that I had the power and the mental fortitude to be like, you know what? My children ain't getting that shit. You feel me? And shout out to all the people who stood their ground and fought the fight, because I know a lot of people felt like they were being disowned. Like, no bullshit. Like, even with, like, I'm not gonna be specific on who I'm talking about in my family. Like, bro, it was one instant, like, somebody in my family just had a newborn, and I went home to see, like, I went to my mother's house and they were there, and like, I had to be at least 6 feet away from this newborn child. And someone in my family was like, yo, you're not one of those, you're not, pro-vax or something. I forgot. She didn't say it verbatim like that, but she was like, you're one of those people, right? And I was like, one of what type? She was like, you don't believe in that stuff. And like, the way that she was just talking to me was just condescending. That's the word that I was looking for. It was condescending. And I was just like, I kind of had to sit there, and I'm like, okay, let's look at the environment. I walked in the house. All the windows are closed. There's no ventilation in the house. And all of you guys have taken the vaccine. I was like, I'm the one that should be fucking worried right now. And I just left. I was like, you know what? It's just too much pressure being around these NPCs. Unfortunately, I'm calling my people's NPCs. Yeah. But it was a scary time. It was a scary time.
I mean, you didn't get too off topic because I brought it up too, because that was a time of war. It has to do with war. Mm-hmm. It has to do with the war of the establishment, right? Mm-hmm. And the people's bodies. You understand what I'm saying? So it is a war of...
It's like a spiritual war.
It's not only that. It's a physical and spiritual war, because you're allowing... because you gotta think about it. They had church people who represented churches, like, make sure you go ahead and get that vaccine. Jesus wants you to get that.
You know how I knew it was bullshit?
You know what I'm saying?
When they was giving out free burgers, I was like, no, this shit can't be real. I felt like I was in a video game.
Bro, they have politicians eating them fries out.
Go get your vaccine.
Got the vaccine. Got some fries. Don't get something. I'm like, bruh, it's over for that, son. I was like, yo, this country is going to shit. It's a psychological war. And now, don't get me wrong, I don't like making fun of people who did get it or whatever it may be, because everybody has their own choice and all of that. Yeah. And to be honest, we all probably have family who probably was like, yo, I'm just gonna get it. Not only that, people would have lost their jobs, dog. Like,
that's the bad part about it. People actually did lose their jobs.
People were in situations where it had to do with their actual livelihood, man. Mm-hmm. Like, yo, if you don't get this, man, you won't be able to work and take care of your family.
That's scary.
It's so you're talking about. Yeah. So when it comes to people losing their jobs because of something that was mandated on the public level, it's something that a lot of people feel like they have no control over. You understand? They had no other choice. Mm-hmm. When you're stripped of your choices, there's very few things that some people could do. Not everybody is capable of making those choices that other people can make, especially given the circumstances that they're in.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think if like what are your thoughts on if majority of the people in the country were like, we're just gonna stay fucking home, like fuck it, like what would have happened? Because if let's just say 51% of Americans or 51% of the people living in America said fuck it, we're not gonna go to work, then what do you think would have happened? Do you think
that you're talking about giving the power
back to the people?
Yeah. And that's a good question. You want me to answer it?
Yeah, I actually want to hear your thoughts on that.
Okay. So basically, when you give the power to the people, first of all, you can't have that. If I'm a leader, I'm not gonna do that. America, the government has done a very good job in separating us. They even have separation within their own government. You got Democrats, you got Republicans, you have liberals, you have socialists, you have these people. They're given names for reasons because we all think differently, idealistically. So if 51% of actual everyday working people stayed home, that means you gave the power to the people now. That means whatever those 51% people say, the leaders are gonna do. And that's dangerous. Why? Because we can't be having that. Now we have to create a new issue. Now we got to somehow, some way separate all of y'all. Mm-hmm. Because we cannot let y'all run us. We need to run you. Because it's more profitable. Because we don't want you messing up with our plans. And it's annoying, man. It's annoying. So that's why it doesn't exist today. If Americans knew or were actually educated on what their government was doing and they were unhappy about certain things, there's a lot of things I can mention right now.
Yeah.
And they actually was like, you know what, we're all going to do this on this day. Mm-hmm. That will never happen. It did. It was happening. The Black Panther Party, that's what they were doing. They were planning on, look, we're the community. We're going to be helping y'all out. They were going to do it, but they were destabilized. Mm-hmm. They were marked as terrorists. They had to be destroyed because you can't have that. Martin Luther King was even doing it. He brought white people and black people together. Mm-hmm. I have a dream. Then it was like, okay, let's dream forever now. And they clipped him. Mm-hmm. That's it. You can't have, because you need separate factions to control society. You need a certain level of chaos. Because when everyone is together, then power is truly to the people.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on that. I don't know if I answered the question.
I mean, you somewhat answered
it. But to sum everything up, though, to be honest, I believe that, blunt tears, we're sorry. I know it sounds all gloomy and stuff like that for you not being controlled and all of that, but in reality, I feel like as a whole people, like if you have friends, if you have family, whoever has political ideas, tell them to do their own research. Mm-hmm. That's the most important thing you can possibly do when it comes to situations like this. I know we were talking about different wars. We don't have all the details. You can do your own research on it. But here's what I would say.
Can I give like one or two? Follow the money.
Yeah, true.
Right. Pay attention to the ones that have special interests.
Yes.
Right. And when you're watching conflict, don't watch it mid-conflict. Go to the beginning of the conflict, what started the conflict, and who would benefit off of the separation of two factions being together, if that makes any sense. Right? That's all I had to say.
Or going to war and all that. Mm-hmm. To simplify things, right, for those, if it's a little bit too complicated, if you have a child, right, and let's say you're a parent and you have a child and teacher says, hey, your child got into a fight. Your child is sweet, lovely kid. Then you ask, hey, what happened? And the kid gives their side of the story. Hey, this kid kept poking me, literally poking me in my back. I told him to stop. I told the teacher, but he kept doing it. He kept poking me. Then finally, I poked him back. Then he hit me. Then I hit him back. And then the fight started, right? There was a history. you care about your child. You don't want nobody poking them. You actually are invested. That's your baby. You love them. You understand what I'm saying? So, in that sense, when it comes to any political conflict on this world, even in America, before you can make judgment, before you can jump to one side, you need to do your own research. Like Pharoah was saying, you need to follow the money. It's important because when you educate yourself, when you understand what's going on, it's harder to be lied to. It's harder to be manipulated by the actual media.
It's harder to be led astray.
Right, exactly. So that's what I would say. That's the only positive that I could actually pull out of this, because I understand how hard it is, man, and I understand how sad it is when it comes to people actually in real time losing their lives, and that, unfortunately, that's just a part of the reality that we live in. It's, you could say, the blunt of reality.
Yeah.
Because death is a part of life, and sometimes it's forced death by the very people we trust to govern us. And you know, for more content like this, make sure you like and subscribe.
Facts.
To the blunt of reality.
Yeah, you.
Huh.
Yo, look, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by March. Help us get to those subscribers, guys, yo. So we want you to hit the link in the bio. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to our channels. You know, help us out. We're gonna get there, yo. With your help, we are gonna get there. And if you want content like this, more content, because we could talk about a lot of things.
You don't know.
Fuck with us.
There's an infinite amount of things that we could go. There's a whole bunch of paths we could go down.
At least in this dimension.
At least in this dimension.
And that's the blunt of reality. Let's go, baby.